Good morning and namaste, everyone. Welcome to my session, Benefits of Yoga by Vinodini Hasal. I'm a certified yoga instructor, and today I'll be teaching you various aspects about yoga, the different kinds of pranayams, the different exercises, what is yoga, and how yoga can help you in your daily life. So I'm sure everyone knows as to that there are different kinds of yoga nowadays. There's hot yoga, there is power yoga, all of these different kinds of yoga, but it's important to not lose the authenticity of the yoga. So hence I'll be talking about the main aspects of yoga in general. So let's go to what is yoga. Am I audible to everybody? I hope I'm audible. If not, that you can put it on the question box or send me on the chat and I'll answer. So what is yoga basically? So it comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to join or to yoke or to unite. And obviously, as you can see here, it suggests that yoga and meditation are beneficial for physical and mental well-being, and that it improves resilience to stress. Yoga practice and meditation has been the focus of research aiming to test their benefits. So it's important to know that yoga is extremely important as it's been practiced for years now. Since the ancient past, the yogis have been practicing, and we can see also from the Shiv Bhagwan that meditation and all of that has come from the Hindu religion and, the Sanskrit background. So what are the main benefits of yoga? As you can see here, you may also write down the points if needed. It improves flexibility, strength, and posture. Daily yoga practice will help stretch and tone your body muscles. So each asana, as I move on towards the session, will have different postures and different benefits for each of the muscles, and it strengthens your core as well. So it's important to know that each asana is also very beneficial, just not only for your body, but also for your mind. Better all-round fitness. So compared to other exercises, it's important to know that yoga is way better, even though it's not like cardio or, heavy, intense workout, even though it's slow because there's certain breathing, inhalations and exhalations. All round, it is good for your body. It also promotes weight loss. It increases your energy, reduces stress, as you all know, as I mentioned earlier, and it helps you breathe better. Breathing better, when I mean by breathe better, I mean that in each asana or posture that you learn, it teaches you how to inhale properly and how to exhale properly. Towards the session, I'll be also teaching pranayams, which are breathing exercises, which you may all do on a daily basis. Also, if I'm going too fast, please do on your question box, you may send me questions and tell me if there's nothing that you seem to understand. I may go back to a certain slide or I may repeat the point. That's not an issue. I'd like to make this as interactive as possible. It helps you become happier and more mindful. So what are asanas? It is often said that yoga is just only about asanas, but not everyone knows what are asanas. So it is traditionally defined as a seat. So it is commonly the seated posture used for meditation. But also we know that there are not just seating asanas, there are also standing asanas. So I would mention that in seating asanas, there is Vajrasan, which is where you sit on your knees flat on the ground. And then there's Padmasan, which is where you keep both your feet in a seating position, crossed on top of each other. And then there's Sukhasan, which is normal cross-legged postures. So it is adopted in performing Hatha Yoga. So as I mentioned, Hatha Yoga is more of the standing postures, lesser than the sitting postures. And Hatha Yoga is also a part of yoga, which is more related to the fitness aspect and the aspect in where it's an intensive form of yoga, you would say. So asana practice is considered important by the yogis because it helps keep the physical body healthy. As I mentioned, that's why Hatha Yoga is commonly used. That's what we normally practice in our asanas. So practicing asanas can also have a range of emotional and energetic benefits. So, number one, mainly, it is to increase discipline and concentration. And number two, it readies the mind for meditation. So, it is important to realize that practicing yoga and asanas every day helps the mind also to become more focused and understanding the inhalations and exhalations, so that once you meditate and you sit down for meditation, you can understand your breathing and it becomes more relaxing. Hence, it makes you a more focused person and it makes you much more calmer. So, what are the main essential do's and don'ts of yoga I'd like to mention? Because it is important to realize that some people practice yoga and are not aware of what they're supposed to be doing and what they're not supposed to be doing. So I thought it's important to know what are the do's and don'ts of yoga. So I'm going to start with the do's. It should be practiced on fasting mode. By fasting mode, I mean that it should be done on an empty stomach. And it can also be practiced 1 hour after a liquid diet. It is beneficial, I would say, ideally to be practicing yoga on an empty stomach, because you don't want it to, disrupt your digestion or any of that sort, and you will feel heavier. So when you are on an emptier stomach, you will feel lighter, and hence it's easier to perform the asanas. As I mentioned, it can be practiced 1 hour after liquid diet. It can be practiced 3 hours after refreshments or 5 hours after full meals. Please keep this in mind, 3 hours after refreshments or 5 hours after full meals. Yoga should be practiced on a leveled floor in a room where doors and windows are kept open for air and light. Ideally, we all know that it is keeping a mat on the floor, and a leveled floor is the ideal way to practice yoga. And also, if we've seen around that it's much more, you feel much more better when it is in open air and when there is sunlight. So I would suggest doing this probably in a garden, or maybe if you have a balcony, put your mat on the floor and get some good air and sunlight, which will be really helpful and it'll help you feel relaxed. Also, it is helpful in many ways to practice yoga, as I said, yes, where morning tender sun rays fall, because it keeps the brain and the body much more relaxed. And also they say that the best vitamin D is gotten in the morning, early mornings. So I would suggest practice yoga in the morning. One should not practice yoga directly on the ground or cement or floor. As I mentioned before, it should be done on a leveled floor, and you should put your mat on the ground when you start your yoga practice. It's just a form of respect to the art. And also it is not good because we're barefoot and we do certain postures on the floor, it is necessary for our knees and our legs and our feet to be protected. So here's a few more of the do's. So one should practice yoga calmly without any haste or exhaustion. When I mean by calmly and without any haste or exhaustion, I mean that it's important that each posture that you're doing, you understand what the breathing pattern is, how the posture is supposed to be done, and with a very calm mind doing the asana. Because when it is done with any kind of tiredness, or if it's done in a rush, there may be chances that you may probably make a mistake in the asana, and you may injure yourself, which is not really good for your body. If one sweats during yoga practice, he or she should slowly wipe it out either by a cloth or with the palms. It is better if it dries up automatically in the air. When you're practicing yoga, it is obvious that you will be perspiring. So I would suggest that take a cloth and just wipe yourself. And if not, if you don't feel comfortable in doing that, you may just leave it as it is and it'll dry up automatically in the air. As I said, it's better to be practiced outdoors. The next one is always lay on your back after finishing postures, 2 to 5 minutes with relaxed breathing. Now, this is extremely important because when you're doing yoga, your body is extremely warm, especially when you're doing the asanas, because your entire muscles and your entire body is used, which makes your body much more warmer. So it is important to cool down. When I mean cool down, I mean that you should lie on your back in Shavasana, which I'll be showing you later in the slides, and with relaxed breathing. Relaxed breathing basically means that you are not controlling your breath, you are just breathing normally, not controlling any of your breath movement. When I mean controlling of breath movement, I mean, and then probably just holding it. When I inhale, I just hold it for 2 and I forget to exhale. I'm breathing normally. I'm not controlling my inhalation or exhalation in any manner. The next one is the movement should be slow in every case. Sudden movements should be avoided. So this means, as I mentioned earlier, that it should not be done with any haste. Yoga should be practiced extremely slowly according to your body, and any jerk or if there's any pull in a muscle because of hasteness, it may give you an injury. So please be careful on that. As I said, if there's any doubts, please do let me know. Coming to the don'ts of yoga. So as you all have understood the do's of yoga, now it's important to know what are the don'ts of yoga. So the first don't, which is especially for the women, is that they should refrain from regular yoga practice during their menses or pregnancy. However, for them, there are specific set of asanas which can be done. So ensure that when you are on your menses, ladies, or in your pregnancy, that whatever asana that you are doing, it should be specifically to that cause, because you are going through your menses or pregnancy. Because if you do any asana on your menses or pregnancy, which is not meant for you to do, it can cause a lot of disruptions in your body and it may not be good for you. So hence I would suggest that not doing yoga during your menses or pregnancy is highly beneficial during that time. Also letting your instructors know that you are going through your menses or your pregnancy, whichever trimester it may be, because there are certain asanas meant for those people. Number 2 is don't have a full tummy while doing yoga. Wait until 2 to 3 hours after large meals. So as I mentioned earlier, do not eat too much or probably be on a fasting mode before doing yoga. Or you can wait until 2 to 3 hours after your large meal, if it's your breakfast or if it's your lunch, wait for another 2 to 3 hours and then practice it afterwards, because you will feel very heavy and it'll obviously disturb your whole system and you won't really feel comfortable while doing the asanas. The next one is don't touch, shower, or drink water for 30 minutes after doing yoga. The reason being is that you are not supposed to be intaking anything while doing yoga. If you do feel thirsty, however, you may have 1-2 sips of water during the session, but it is ideally expected of you to have water after your session is over, at least 30 minutes after the session, because it is good for the body. Also, another important tip for everyone is that when you are drinking water, it is important for you to sit down in Sukhasana. Sukhasana is basically, as I said, cross-legged on the floor, which is the normal way. Or if you may not sit on the floor, you may sit on a chair, ideally up straight like how I am, with your spine straight, and then drink water. Drinking water sitting is much beneficial to your body than as it is standing. The next point is don't do strenuous exercises after yoga. Yoga in itself is very intense with the certain asanas that we do. So it is essential that you don't do anything strenuous to your body after your yoga session, because it is anyways using every part of the body and is also using the mind. So I would suggest you not to do anything strenuous. So I wouldn't suggest, if you are doing yoga in the morning, to go for a walk afterwards or to go to the gym afterwards, because your body is already exercised and it is already warmed up and is relaxed. Even though yoga is slow in nature, it is still a form of exercise and it is still using every part of your body. So here are some more don'ts. So during illness and after operations, when there is a bandage, either from like for sprains or fractures, one should refrain from yoga practice. They can resume yoga after consulting experts. Now, this is a very important point because not everyone, as I also am a teacher, sometimes the patients or the people that come and learn from me, they don't tell me whether they are suffering from a certain sprain or a fracture in the body, or if they have undergone any surgery. This is extremely crucial for us to know and for you to tell me, because your body is still under development. And when we're doing certain asanas, there may be a possibility that you may get injured, and it may lead to further uncomfortability in your body, and it'll just increase the seriousness and condition of yourself. Hence, it is very important to inform the instructor as to what is going wrong in your body, whether you have any sprain or fracture, or if you've gone through any operation or any of that sort. And accordingly, the expert or the instructor will let you know whether it is safe or not for you to continue the session. One should not practice yoga in an unclean or smoky place and in areas with a foul smell. By this, I mean that we should not practice in an area which is smoky or with a bad smell, majorly because when you're doing yoga and when you're practicing yoga, the inhalations and exhalations, we are inhaling air. So if you are inhaling something which is not smelling right, it may not make the practice of yoga happy for you, or it may not be a very comfortable position to be in. The next point is yoga should not be practiced in storm winds either. Hence, if there are storm winds, it is recommended to be practiced indoors or not at all, depending on your comfortability. If you are suffering from depression or have a disturbed mind, one cannot perform meditation. Now, as I said earlier in the benefits of yoga, when you are suffering from depression or have a disturbed mind, yes, yoga may help you, but one cannot perform meditation. Now, meditation obviously is to do more with breathing and with the mind. So hence it is important. Meditation is supposed to calm you because we are closing our eyes and we are meditating with our inhalations and exhalations. Normally, people with depression or disturbed mind cannot sit idly and are restless in nature, and also will have a keen tendency of overthinking, which may lead to disturbance in the mind more. So hence, I would recommend people with depression or anyone who has a disturbed mind not to perform meditation. Okay, coming back, now we're going to be talking about yogic diet. Now, I don't know if any one of you have heard what is a yogic diet. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about what we should eat during yoga or probably just during our general life and how to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So a yogic diet is a balanced diet that ancient yogis believed had a huge influence not only over our physical well-being, but also over our thoughts and ultimately our emotional and spiritual well-being. So as mentioned here, the yogis believe that it helped our physical well-being. Yes, agreed. And also our thoughts. So the food that you intake, how it can emotionally probably, benefit your thoughts and ultimately our emotional and spiritual well-being. So in yogic literature, foods that are beneficial to us are said to be sattvic. Sattvic is meaning pure. So sattvic foods form an ideal diet, keeping the body nourished while being easy to digest. So this basically means that having a sattvic diet, which is a pure diet, helps the body because that food is much more easier to digest compared to the other foods that are not so easy to digest. So there are three types of diets which we all follow, and each of these diets have a certain level and certain characteristics that help us, not even help us, I would say, but define us. So as I said, sattva, so the sattvic diet, it deals with that. It helps you become more balanced, gives you harmony, positivity, peace, and clarity of mind. While the rajas diet it gives you movement, activity, energy, excitement, and passion. And while the tamas diet, as you can see from the picture here, it gives you inertia, inactivity, negativity, apathy, and dullness. So I'm going to be talking about what are the kind of foods and what each of these diet signifies. So the sattva diet, which as I mentioned earlier is a pure diet or sattvic, is experienced as stillness, balance, harmony, and clarity. So emotional states associated with sattva include happiness, joy, peace, love, freedom, friendliness, openness, creativity, fulfillment, and inspiration. Now, each of these are positive characteristics, if you can see. So it's ideal if you can start practicing a sattvic diet, which will obviously improve your lifestyle and also help you in the longer run to feel positive about yourself. Now, the rajas diet is commonly what we are eating now, what we eat, which is a little spicy food and our normal home food that we eat. The sattvic food is generally vegetables. I will be showing you in the next slide what each diet consists of and what are the food elements that come in each of these diets. So the rajas diet is movement. It gives you movement, activity, agitation, attachment, and desire. So the rajasic state, as it is mentioned, includes distracted passion, alertness, determination, self-centeredness, anxiety, restlessness, anger, greed, impatience, and worry. Now, as you can see over here, these are a little, I would say, negative and positive both with the foods that we are intaking in a rajas diet. Now, the lastly is the tamas diet. Now, the tamas, I would say, is highly negative in nature, and it is not ideal to have the tamas diet. So it is the densest of the three qualities and experienced as darkness, as I mentioned, inertia, obscuration, materiality, inactivity, and fear. Now, the tamasic states in the previous slide, as you saw the tamasic image, it makes you lazy, gives you doubt, sadness, hurt, shame, boredom, apathy, self-destruction, and ignorance. Now, these are qualities that we don't really need in our day-to-day life. So it is ideal for one to start practicing the sattvic diet, which is a pure diet, which includes, here is a pyramid, which includes more vegetables, more fruits, things which are easy to digest, less dairy products, probably only just ghee and milk or honey. The rajasic diet over here, as you can see, is all things that we eat on our daily lives, which is mostly spicy food, which is like sandwiches, chilies, bread. All of these things come under the rajasic diet. The tamasic diet is mostly your dairy products, which is ice cream, all your junk food, non-vegetarian food, all these things which give qualities to us which are negative in nature and which are not so good, which helps us become more lazier, like pizza, things which affect our body. This is called the tamasic diet. It is important to realize that out of all these three diets, we are following the rajasic diet mainly, which is not a bad form. But I would suggest that one start incorporating more foods of sattvic, which is purity, because it will help you in the long run. And as you're practicing yoga every day, you will realize the changes in your personality, in your mind, and in your body while doing this. So that was a little bit about diet. We move on now to the top 7 asanas for seniors. as I was saying earlier, what are the kind of asanas that one can be practicing, especially when it comes to seniors? What are the best asanas that you can do? And I would suggest that each one could do these asanas on a daily basis. And, you can incorporate this in your daily life. It only takes a few minutes. And also by making sure that you understand what is a breathing pattern, the inhalation and the exhalations, and basically knowing how to do these asanas the correct way. So the first asana is Tadasana, which is in English called the mountain pose. In bracket, I have written the English name of the asana. The next one is the Baddha Konasana, which is the butterfly pose. If I'm going too fast, please let me know and I will stop anything if nothing is understandable. The next one is Balasana, which is the child pose, which is also a very relaxing pose for the entire body and the muscle. The next one is Bhujangasana, which is the cobra pose. The next one is Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. Next one is Trikonasana, the triangle pose. And the next one is Shavasana, which is the corpse pose. Now, Shavasana and Balasana are the two main asanas, which are the relaxing asanas in general. And it is usually done when you are finished with your entire session. So I would suggest you to do either Balasana, which is a child pose, or Shavasana, the corpse pose, in normal breathing. When I mean normal breathing, I mean breathing which is not controlled in nature. You can do these asanas after your intense asanas, which is the previous ones as I mentioned above, after you are done for relaxing sensation. So after this, I'm going to be showing you each asana and how it is done through the image. So the first one is Tadasana, which is the mountain pose. It is done with your feet together. Your palms, as you can see in the image, your palms are facing forward and you are relaxed. You may also do this by raising your palms. As you can see, I'm raising it up like this in Namaste by folding it like this and spreading your feet 1 feet distance. As you lift your palms on top, you will basically be inhaling. So I'm going to do it for you. I'll just demonstrate it quickly. I won't be able to demonstrate all, but the ones that I can do while sitting, I will just demonstrate it for you. So you first stand up with your feet together or 1 feet distance. To check your distance between the feet, take your feet like this, place it like this, and then bring it parallel to each other, making sure that you are extremely comfortable and that your breathing is completely normal and your body is relaxed. After which you place your palms like this, forward, facing front, on your sides as it is shown in the image. Once that is done, on a count of 3, I will inhale. So I will go inhaling, 2, 3, and I'll place my palms above my head in Namaste like this, above my head. In a completely relaxed way, I will hold my breath in that position for 3 counts. So I will inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, while I exhale, I will bring down my palms like this. So I will show it like this. I don't think it's visible. I will turn out my palms like this, and I will do a full back rotation and bring it back to its normal position, which is the starting position. So this is known as the Tadasana, which is the mountain pose. It is extremely beneficial for people who are suffering with any spinal injury, those that should not do it, ideally, are people who have knee issues. And if you're going through menses or pregnancy, please avoid this asana. It is extremely good for concentration and it improves your balance. So this mountain pose is extremely good to do as well. The next pose is the Baddha Konasana, which is known as the butterfly pose. I'm sure many of us know this posture, but some of us tend to have some of us tend to make a mistake in doing the posture properly. So here I have shown a diagram of how exactly this pose should be done, the Baddha Konasana, known as the butterfly pose. As you can see how she is sitting with her 2 feet together joined like a butterfly. Her back and shoulders are relaxed, but it is extremely erect and it is broad. The chest is broad. Your gaze should be in front. As you can see, the pelvis tilts forward and lengthens the spine. So making sure that you are not crunching or hunching your back, because that is not an ideal, like this, it is not an ideal position to sit in, and it is going to hamper the asana. So it is important to keep your back straight and your shoulders back. So the toes spread as the top of the feet come towards the ground. Set the thumbs into the arches of the feet and open it like a book. As you can see how she's opening her feet. If you do not feel comfortable with opening your feet like that, like a book, you may keep it together like this, and with one palm you may hold both of your feet together. Generally, I would suggest to keeping it closed. If you are comfortable, then you are more than welcome to keep it open like a book and place your palms underneath your feet, as she is showing here in the picture. You press the elbows into the legs for a deeper stretch. Now, if you are not comfortable and if you feel that your flexibility is not so strong and you are not so easily flexible, as you can see in the picture here, her knees are touching the ground. Now, generally, depending on your body type, you may not be able to sit on the ground completely. Your feet may not be able to touch the ground. So it is all right. There's nothing wrong with it. It only happens with practice. Sit in that position for at least 6 to 7 seconds with normal breathing, inhaling and exhaling, and then release back to your normal position. So this was the butterfly pose. This was the second asana, which is beneficial. Now the balasana, this is the child pose. As I mentioned, that this is a pose which is done as a method of relaxation. So this is not really an asana which is like the other asanas. It's an asana which is meant to relax and calm your body. As you can see here in the photograph, she is on her knees and is in Vajra. So first I would suggest Vajrasana is when you are sitting on your knees on the ground, and you are sitting, your buttocks is placed on the heels of your foot, after which you are placed, you slowly go down, taking your palms forward as she is in the photograph. And once you feel that you are in the most comfortable position, then you stay there. It is not necessary for you to stretch completely because sometimes your body may not be able to do that. So stretch till wherever you can with normal breathing. Now, this is an extremely beneficial asana because it stretches your entire body just by sitting like this in Vajrasana and with your arms in front of your head and with your forehead placed on the mat. With normal breathing, it is essential that you are breathing and that you are not holding your breath or controlling your breath. Now, this is called the child pose, which is known as balasana. If there are any doubts, as I mentioned earlier, please do let me know and I will surely get back to any of the questions. You may put it on the chat box if there is any doubts, or if you would like me to repeat anything. The next posture is Bhujangasana. Now, Bhujangasana is also known as the cobra pose. Now, many of you might have realized or have seen this posture or asana being done in the Surya Namaskar, which is the sun salutation. But I would like to make it very clear, not every instructor mentions this. But the Bhujangasana or Cobra pose, which is done here, is not really the same which is done in the Surya Namaskar. We get confused, but there is a little slight distinguish in the asanas that you do in the Surya Namaskar. But when it is solely that asana, it is completely different. So I would suggest that to please understand the differences in the asanas while doing or performing Surya Namaskar, which is also known as a sun salutation. So as you can see here, the Bhujangasana, it's also known as the Cobra pose. I would suggest you to step by step, I'll slowly mention how we should go about this. You would have to lie down flat on your abdomen with your feet facing upwards and your toes pointing outwards, forehead touching the ground, having your hands, your palms placed by your chest area with your elbows facing inwards. And as you inhale, you will slowly push your palms and your ground, and you will push your body away from the mat, as she is doing here right now in the picture, as you can see. And you will form a curve nature of the body where your pelvic area will still be touching the mat, but your abdomen will be upright and your back should be straight. While performing this asana, it is important to mention that you should not give any strain to the back while doing this. Please make sure that those that should not do this asana ideally are people who have spinal injuries, people who are going through menses, second and third trimester in pregnancy, or if you have a protruding belly, you should refrain from doing this asana because it is ideally for the abdomen. It does strengthen the back, yes, but those with severe spinal injuries or spinal issues should not perform this asana. This asana is extremely good. It helps regulate your breathing. It is good for breathing. It is good for the back, strengthens your back and your core muscles, and it is extremely beneficial to your body overall. It helps pull and relax all the muscles which need to be done. Also, as you inhale, you will be coming up like how she is in the photograph. You will hold your breath. As I mentioned in the previous asanas, some of the asanas, we don't hold our breath, we breathe normally. In this asana, you will have to, as you inhale, you will hold it for at least 6 seconds. Once you hold it for 6 seconds, you will exhale, going back like this, back on the ground, flat lying down, with your palms on your chest in a completely relaxed manner. So this is the Bhujangasana, known as the Cobra pose. The next one is Adho Moksha Svanasana, which is known as the downward facing dog. Now this asana is exactly the same. There's no difference between this asana and the one that is done in the Surya Namaskar because it is exactly the same. We do this in the Surya Namaskar as well. Now this asana should ideally be done when you have good flexibility and when your body is completely healthy with no injuries whatsoever. Everyone can do this, obviously apart from people who have injuries. Now, the starting position of this, I would suggest, is for you to be in Shavasana, which is lying down on your abdomen. Once you lie down on your abdomen, you are expected to lift both your feet, as you can see how she has lifted up both her legs, and you will make sure that your hips are on top and are aligned straight, and your back is aligned straight. Your heels should be on the ground, placed flat, together preferably, and your hips should be as up as possible. Now, the reason the hip should be as up as possible is because of the alignment of the body. You are basically forming like a V or a triangle of sorts with your body. stretching upwards with both your hands placed extremely high. And as you are inhaling, exhaling, you are not going to hold your breath of any sort. So this is called as a downward facing dog or the Adho Mukha Svanasana. So making sure that your hands are completely stretched up and that your heels are touching the ground. Sometimes your heels may not be able to touch the ground, which is all right. So if you are on your toes, preferably, that is also fine, as long as you are comfortable. So this was the downward facing dog pose, which is extremely beneficial as well. We go to the next asana, which is a Trikonasana, which is also known as the triangle pose. Now, as you can see over here, how she is inhaling and exhaling, I won't be able to show you or demonstrate this asana for you. So it is recommended ideally for you to probably join a yoga class or possibly see it online on YouTube as to how this asana is supposed to be performed. Basically, your legs are supposed to be facing, your feet are supposed to be parallel, not parallel to each other, but turned outwards. You'll be facing one side. Both your palms will be facing forward. And while inhaling, you will, in the count of 3, go towards one toe. And as you can see in the picture here, the final position is the position that she is in the picture. Once you're in that position, you will hold your breath for at least 6 seconds. So it'll be as a comfortable count as how you would find it at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ideally, the count is supposed to happen like this. If you find it too slow, then you may alter your breathing accordingly. Once you finish, hold your breath. Exhaling, you will come back and you will keep your hands like this, your palms facing forward, and your hands completely straight, shoulder level. And then you will bring it, exhaling again, you will relax it and bring it to the sides of your thighs. So this is the triangle pose known as the Trikonasana. This is also extremely beneficial for any abdominal injuries. If you have any spinal injury, it strengthens your hamstrings. It also reduces your waistline. These are the major benefits. It improves the digestion. It helps elongate your spine, stretches your side and your side muscles, basically your spinal, your waistline. And it is extremely good overall. One of the good asanas to be practiced, the Trikonasana. Lastly, the last asana is called the Shavasana, which is known as the corpse pose. This is one of the most relaxing, it is also considered to be very relaxing, and it is done majorly after your session is over, as I mentioned earlier. So, as you can see in the picture here, she is lying completely flat on her back with her palms and her arms in a relaxed manner. Preferably, it should be away from your body. And your palms facing the sky. It should please make sure that your palms are not touching the ground, because you will not find a relaxation sort of feeling if your palms are touching the ground, because we get energy when we touch a surface. When you are not touching a surface and when your palms are the upside down way, it is in a much better form and it helps you relax your body. So your arms are spread away from each other and your palms facing the sky. Your eyes should be shut, making sure that your head is also completely touching the ground with your eyes closed, having your legs spread a little and not together as it is shown in the photo. Your feet should be relaxed and your toes should also be relaxed. And while lying down in this position, have your normal breathing pattern. And while being in this position, making sure that you are not thinking about anything, that there are no thoughts coming into your system. completely relaxed. And obviously, once you get into this asana, you will feel relaxed afterwards. So this is the Shavasana, the corpse pose. Okay, so we're moving on to our next topic, which is meditation. Now, not everyone knows the correct way of meditating and why it is important to meditate. So I feel it is extremely necessary for me to cover why meditation is important. Now, I'm sure everyone knows what meditation is. Meditation is ideally closing your eyes, sitting in Sukhasana. As you can see, she's sitting in Sukhasana, which is cross-legged. Having your palms, either it can be touching your knees, above the thighs, or you can face it on the opposite side, like this, your palm facing the sky on your knees. You may put it in a mudra, like this, which is a Trikona mudra, facing it upwards, like this. Tripataka mudra, it may be called anything. Whichever is comfortable to you, any mudra is fine, as long as you are comfortable, with your spine erect, straight up, your head and chin parallel to the ground, making sure that you're completely relaxed with no thoughts, and just closing your eyes and inhaling and exhaling. Now, while meditating, it is extremely important for you not to get any other thoughts coming into your mind. So that is primarily what meditation is. Why is meditation important? So meditation is an ancient practice that helps to control our own mind and consequently our own life and to help discover ourselves. So, as I said, it really has to do all with the mind and the body, more to do with the mind. And it also helps us discover ourselves. Now, this is something extremely crucial because we're living in such a life which is so stressful and so busy, we forget to give time to ourselves. And because Mumbai is such a buzzing city, sorry about that, we don't realize that, meditating can really help us. The next point is it helps us to control our mind and thoughts and turn off our mind when we do not need it anymore. Now, when I mean by turn off our mind, I don't mean it in the literal sense, but what I mean is to really let go of all the stress, the negativity, any thoughts which are hampering your brain, basically letting go of all of that, thinking of only positive things, and basically helping us control our thoughts. And if possible, to reach a level of extreme liberation, which is obviously difficult to attain now. But further onwards, while practicing meditation, you may realize that while meditating every day, you realize that you are slowly and in a very nice way, you will not be thinking about anything while meditating. The next one is it can help us to eliminate negative thoughts, worries, anxiety, as I mentioned earlier, to eliminate all of those things and all the factors that can prevent us from feeling happy. Meditation is supposed to be something which helps you be calmer and basically to feel happy from within, making the mind clear from any negativity, only concentrating on positivity and positive thoughts. It has been proved that the practice of meditation carried out on a regular basis, as I was saying, if you do that, it will mitigate the symptoms of stress and anxiety. Now, this is obviously extremely important to understand, is that if you practice this and you keep this as a form of practicing yoga every day and meditation every day, you will feel lighter, you will feel more positive in nature. It will relieve your stress and it will relieve your mind from any negativity and anxiety. So I would highly recommend to practice meditation on a daily basis. So here are the main physical benefits of meditation. So the first one here says it decreases the physical tension. By physical tension, I mean that normally after you finish your yoga session and you are done with your relaxing and everything, you will sometimes, maybe your body is not used to the certain asana positions because you have to hold the position for a long period of time. It will probably give you physical tension, maybe in your joints, and you will feel some sort of pain after the session. So when you meditate after your yoga, it does help in reducing that physical tension because you are concentrating on your mind and you are relaxing yourself by meditating. It deletes the psychosomatic disorders caused by tension. Now, this is something I don't really need to explain. It's self-explanatory. Prophylaxis against stress. This basically means, as I mentioned earlier, that it helps in reducing your stress levels and your stress hormones, giving you a certain positive feeling and a positive vibe while meditating. Those that are suffering from blood pressure, this is highly recommended as it lowers your blood pressure. The next point is it strengthens the immune system. Yes, I would highly agree to this physical benefit of meditation. It does strengthen the immune system, majorly because you are concentrating on your breath, you are relaxed, and over time you will realize that you are not falling sick, you are not getting any illnesses, your immune system has become stronger because of meditating and because of practicing yoga and asanas every day. And yes, of course, it slows down the aging process. You will feel a certain glow within yourself by meditating. After you meditate, you do feel calm and you feel happier, I would say. Your state of mind is in a much better place. So when that happens, automatically the stress levels, everything reduces, and it shows on your face. Your face will glow, and you will see that glow eventually as you practice meditation. The next point is it recharges our batteries. Now, meditation is not meant for you to feel sleepy or to feel drowsy or lethargic or lazy afterwards, but instead it is the opposite. If you do it in a controlled manner and if you do it in the correct manner, it will give you good energy and it'll give you a boost of sorts for you to continue the rest of the day with a happy and calm mind. Overall, making your body feel much better and lighter in general. Coming now to the psychological benefits of meditation, which I kind of did mention as I was going along and I was talking about it. The first one is it brings calmness. It helps you to be more tolerant and sensitive. It helps to control our anger. It energizes us, helps to control our anger. When I say that, I mean basically getting rid of any frustration and any negativity and thoughts and anxiety that is entering your mind. It helps you control that through the certain breathing that you are doing. It energizes you, as I said. It takes away all the worries. It brings clarity of mind. It helps us to be more confident in ourselves. Now, this is something which is obviously extremely important, clarity of mind, and helps us to be more confident in ourselves. Because while meditating, you will realize that you will feel all of these benefits. It helps personal growth. So all these three kind of interrelate of sorts, and it just helps you become a more confident person, and it helps you as you practice. You will realize that as you practice meditation, you will see all these benefits within yourself as you introspect, as this all can't happen within a day. If I say that I'm going to be doing meditation today and I do a session, it's not going to help me in one day. I won't be able to see all the psychological benefits or all the physical benefits of meditation. Yes, I may feel calm and I may feel okay in that particular moment after it is done, But I won't see this in a long duration or in a long period of time if I only practice it once. So this happens eventually, and it will take time for you to understand all of these benefits of meditation. If there is any doubt, please do ask me. I am available for questions. Or if I have to repeat anything, or if you don't understand anything, do let me know. Moving on, we go to the pranayam, which is the breathing exercises. So this is kind of the last thing that I will be doing, and I will be teaching you physically these breathing exercises. So pranayam is the formal practice of controlling the breath, which is the source of our prana, or pran, which is our vital life source. Now, obviously, breathing is extremely essential and is extremely important for you to understand how it works, because sometimes we don't realize how we are breathing, and it sometimes may affect our bodies as well. So I'm going to be teaching you 4 kinds of pranayams, and I hope everyone can see me. The first one is known as the Surya Bedana pranayam. So this is basically, Surya means sun, as we all know. This is a single nostril breathing exercise. Now, it's important to understand that this pranayam cannot be done to people who have fever or any cold, because this basically warms up your body. It entirely in your system, it warms up your body. So this, I'm going to be teaching you how to do this. So firstly, what we're going to do is, you're going to take your index finger and your middle finger, and you're going to put it together, and you're going to bring it down like this. Now this mudra here, as you can see, I have my pinky finger and my ring finger up like this, and my thumb like this. This is called the Vishnu mudra. This is ideally the mudra which is supposed to be used while practicing such pranayams, because this is the fingers that we use to control our nostrils. So the Surya Bedana pranayam, what you have to do is, you have to take your ring finger and you have to place it on your left nostril. You are going to be inhaling from your right nostril, like this. So I'm just going to demonstrate it for you and show you. You inhale from your right nostril. You shut your right nostril with your tongue. Exhaling, you will exhale from your left nostril as naturally as possible. So I'll repeat. With your ring finger, you place it on your left nostril. You inhale from your right. You shut it with your right finger, and you exhale from your left nostril. This can be extremely, I would say, beneficial, and it helps you calm yourself down as well. Doing this at least for 4 rounds is beneficial, I would say, ideally. You can do it for more rounds as well if you feel the need, and if you feel like you want to do it more. So that was the Surya Bedana pranayam. The next pranayam is called the Chandra Bedana pranayam. Now the Chandra Bedana pranayam, Chandra, as you know, it means moon. So this is a pranayam which helps you cool yourself. It cools your system from within, and it makes you feel lighter. All pranayams make you feel lighter, but this is also another form which makes you feel lighter. Now, the difference between this single nostril exercises is that in the Surya Bedana pranayam, I told you to inhale, you inhale from your right and you exhale from your left nostril. In the Chandra Bedana pranayam, we will inhale from our left nostril, close it with our ring finger, and release our thumb, and exhale from our right nostril. So again, I repeat, we inhale from our left nostril, shut it, and exhale from our right nostril. So this you can also do for at least 4 to 5 rounds. You may feel the difference in your breathing. This is called the single nostril exercises. So these two were the single nostril exercises known as the Surya Bhedana Pranayam and the Chandra Bhedana Pranayam. Now the next one, I'm sure most of us or everyone knows about the Anulom Vilom. So this is the alternate nostril breathing pattern. So I'm going to demonstrate it and show it to you. So you inhale from your right nostril, you shut it for double the count. You can keep it for at least 2 counts. Hold your breath, and you will release it, releasing your ring finger from your left nostril. Then again, you will inhale from your left nostril, shut it for double the count, probably 2. Exhale from your right nostril. Again, inhale from your right nostril, shut it for the count of 2, exhaling from your left nostril. So as you can see, the nostril that I am inhaling from and then exhaling, I again start from the opposite nostril. So this is Anulom Vilom. It helps in the breathing pattern, how to inhale and how to exhale from both the nostrils simultaneously. Holding it for the count of 2 is ideally beneficial. Now the last pranayam is Brahmari pranayam. So Brahmari, I'm going to demonstrate and I'm going to show it to you, is basically you will inhale from, this doesn't require any mudra. You will sit in Sukhasana, which is, as I said, your cross-legged position. Or you can sit in Vajrasana, which is sitting on your knees on the floor and with your buttocks on your heels. Your feet should be in a V like this. Basically, your toes should be touching together when you're sitting in Vajrasana. Brahmari, you can keep, all these pranayams can be done, sorry, I forgot to mention, can be done with your eyes closed. So the last one that I'm talking about now is Brahmari. You will inhale. As you are exhaling, you will hum. So this is also, it's known as the humming bee pranayam as well, the English name. So I'm going to do it for you and demonstrate. You will inhale. While exhaling, you are just going to hum like a bee. As you can hear the humming sound. While I'm exhaling, the maximum capacity or maximum exhalation that I can do with this humming sound is when you should be comfortable. If you can only do it's all right. Try to give maximum exhalation as possible, as it's important to do each pranayam, properly. Now, when you are doing pranayams or breathing exercises, this can be done by anybody. There are no limitations or no restrictions. It can be done on a daily basis. You may choose to do 1 or 2 pranayams. Preferably do 1 or 2. You don't have to do all, because it's not really ideal to do all the pranayams. You can do whichever one is you're comfortable with. So the Brahmari again is you inhale, exhaling you hum. Again, you do the same thing. You repeat it for at least 4 to 5 rounds. I'm going to be repeating each pranayam and the instructions one last time before I end the session. So the first one, Surya Bhedana Pranayam. The Vishnu Mudra is your index finger and your middle finger will come down like this. You have your ring finger and pinky finger up and your thumb like this. So Surya Bhedana is you inhale from your right nostril and you exhale from your left nostril. Again, you inhale from your right nostril, shut it and exhale from your left nostril. This can be done 4 rounds. Next one, Chandra Bhedana, is the opposite of Surya, is where you will inhale from your left nostril, shut it and exhale from your right nostril. Again, you inhale from your left nostril, shut it and exhale from your right nostril. This also may be done 4 to 5 times. Anulom Vilom, same thing, but with alternate nostrils. And the nostril, I will inhale from my right, shut it for double the count, holding my breath for 2 seconds, exhale from my left nostril. Once I exhale from that nostril, I will inhale from the same nostril, shutting it for 2 counts, and exhale from my right nostril. Again, inhaling from the same nostril I'm exhaling from, shut it for 2 counts, and exhale from our left nostril. So this also may be done 4 to 5 rounds. The last pranayam is the Brahmari pranayam, also known as the humming bee pranayam. You inhale. As I exhale, I will hum to my maximum capacity. So inhaling. And that is the Brahmari pranayam. So I would like to end this session. Before I end this session, I would like to launch a poll of how the session, if you'd like the session, please do answer all these questions. And thank you so much. It was great teaching you all. Thank you.